Colin, what's your topic?
Unfortunately for you, my topic is about wildlife on Long Island and my various inane stories with them, with the deer and the geese.
Holy shit!
My topic is I was thinking about earlier today. I was walking to the supermarket before we did Colin and Greg Live, and I was thinking about the story that we did on Colin and Greg Live about how rich philanthropists and prolific scientists are getting together to try to figure out how they can get to the nearest star system, Alpha Centauri, and how they want to do that in 20 years. Using like little iPhone-like devices and nanomachines and stuff, and it's really exciting. And then I was thinking about just kind of the cosmic questions and things that that we don't have answers to. And I was wondering, it could be a serious. I doubt it will be serious for some of you guys, but is there a question before you die that you want answered? And I'm not saying like some like. So my question is like, are we alone? It's like the question.
Don't rattle off the options.
No. So mine is like, I don't think we're alone. I know we're not alone, but will we get proof that we are not alone before I die? Like that's what I want that more than anything. I want definitive proof that we are not alone. And I was wondering if you guys had anything like that, like where this thing of some sort of cosmic importance, and it's not literally cosmic importance because it doesn't have to do with the universe necessarily, but like something you don't know that you'd like the answer to, or something that you want to just know before you die. That's that's of the utmost importance too.
I think it'd be cool if they. I mean, there's lots of questions I have, but I think it'd be cool if they figured out how to like manipulate. I want to know if we'll ever in my lifetime be able to like manipulate gravity and have planes that fly, anti-gravity planes, things like that. Like, I just think that science is cool. We don't really know too much about it, right?
No.
Yeah.
Anti-gravity.
Gravity. Just gravity in general. Figuring out what the fuck that
Isaac
is.
Newton.
And then figuring out how to master gravity.
Well, we know what gravity is.
We know what the force is, but we don't know what really causes it, do we?
Mass.
But we don't know why.
I don't know. Do we know the why, Kevin? Yeah. I mean, like.
But I mean, that's a theory.
Right. So so like what actually causes the force and the mass to make like, okay, that does it for me, because I think Lawbreakers, the upcoming Cliffy B game, deals with that.
Exactly.
I think the only other thing I'm not really curious about one specific question, but the thought has been rattling off just because I think a lot of our talks have centered around this. But like, where will we be 100 years from now? What will our relationship with machines be 100 years from now? Are we one and the same? Are we slaves to them? Have they taken us over like Skynet, and now we're fighting in little like tunnel warfare, trying to fight these giant Austrian robots that for no fucking reason have Austrian accents, even though it's like, dude, that guy. So
they blend in easy.
We're in LA and the guy's got an Austrian accent. It's a fucking Terminator. Clearly.
Skynet.
Yeah. Like, he's giving the accent. Don't ever guess it's him. He's only 18 feet tall. No, but I mean, that's something that's been, I think, a pretty hot topic lately in like science fiction, just or in science general.
Science,
It's just what is our relationship to machines going to look like in the future? And because if you look at it now, I mean, a lot of people jokingly talk about how we are slaves to machines, things like the internet, things like our phones, things like computers anyway. So is that relationship going to continue? And what are we going to be like once, because pretty much at
once
this
machines
point,
understand that we need them.
right. And when what's that relationship going to look like? I don't know. I just find that whole thing fascinating, because I had this thought the other day as I was, I can't remember where I was trying to get to.
Here probably, or home.
No, I know how to get those inherently, I think. I don't need I don't need MapQuest anymore for that.
God damn it, Nick.
But I had a thought, like, I can't really do anything. I can't really function anymore without computers or a phone or the internet. Like the free flow of information has changed the game so holistically that I, as a human being right now, if you said you can't have the internet, you can't have your phone, and you still have to function and work, you couldn't do it.
Rooster Teeth just made the documentary about this.
Did they?
It's called Connected.
Oh, that's
coming
cool.
out next week. There's a trailer out for it now where it's Barbara, Ashley, and Blaine. They took away their phones and like all that stuff, internet access for like a week, and they gave them a bunch of tasks. Like they had to travel from like this location to this location, but they had to actually use maps. And the phones, like they couldn't use cell phones and stuff. They had to use payphones and that type of shit. And like there's a whole bunch of weird. It's not out yet, so I haven't seen it. But based on the trailer, I'm like, fuck, that's interesting. Sounds like just what you're talking about.
But see, even that point, like, how would you use? There's no payphones left, right? No one has a landline anymore. You take away someone's smartphone, you have zero means of communicating with anyone in the world aside from going to their house and knocking on their door, and that's crazy to think. So what the fuck is that going to look like 50 years from now? And we'll all see it, except maybe me. But you guys will all see it, most likely, because you guys live pretty healthily. Man, me and Kevin aren't going to see it.
Aren't you the most healthy among us?
I'm older, though. Well, guy, I'm just the cook.
Why am I gonna die?
Kevin,
you
come
just
on.
took down 4 chalupas before
Come
this
on,
started, Kevin.
Come on.
You're
You
sick
took
every
that-
other week as
I
well.
asked you for a
No.
bite of your chalupa, and you defended it like a fucking mama bear defending her newly born cubs. You were like, no. He literally held me here with one hand, and I have bruises, and I'm calling the police.
Call HR.
Oh my God.
I'm calling Mildred Miller to come put a box on him
Rest in peace.
and a rock.
The thing that I've thought about my entire life is what's the point of life? And I've talked to many people about this, and I never really get anywhere.
This is the point.
There is none.
Living right
But
now.
that's the thing is it's just like, all right, so the point of life is to create more life. What's the point of their life? To create more life, but why?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know? And it's just kind of, it's weird where it's like, all right, so what is the goal? So it's like you make money to make yourself happy. You know what I mean? You need to get a job. You need to go to school. You need to get a job. You need to find a relationship. You need to, create kids and go from there, right? And there's all these like little wins along the way, like promotions, whether that's, in a job or like just, little moments of happiness. Like you have sex with somebody. That's a little something, right? You get a promotion. That's a little something. You have your kid. That's a little something. All these moments that are like, they make you feel good, whatever that means. And then it's like, you just keep doing that. So I feel like the goal is just continuously making yourself feel good.
Sure.
Until it becomes about trying to make a little dude feel good, you know? And then but why? Like,
Then he leaves the house and
what
makes
is
you feel
this,
bad.
this hamster wheel going? Yeah.
It's because I mean I think it's simpler than you think. It's the sense that biologically we're not supposed to be self-aware. I don't think evolution's end goal was to make a species that knew what was going on. So we had this biological imperative to procreate because that's all we knew. And
So
it's
are we
like
like-
natural selection.
Are we like the computer to
Yeah.
Some would argue that. There's
Nature's-
I don't know whose theory came up with that. I'm definitely, it's not
We're the
me,
first.
but
I
if
mean,
you-
we're the only species that can literally destroy and know we're destroying everything. And
You're the one who you always say, right, that we're the first species to outsmart evolution, right?
yeah, that we know of. I mean, and that's why I'm so interested to know if we're alone, because evolution has got to be universal, and so there are certainly other species out there that are the same. Like eventually you climb to the apex of the ladder where you're like, well, I am aware. Like once you become self-aware, it's a huge step in evolution that's not been reached by pretty much anything.
Except they did just find those cave paintings of T-Rexes with Uzis.
could some other
mowing down
species
brontosauruses.
evolve further than it is now? I mean, I feel like that's
Yeah.
already happening, right? With like certain bugs and shit.
You mean
like
can
the
apes
noses and
evolve
stuff
into
change.
us
But
eventually?
yeah, I mean, but what if something like what if some animal that exists now ends up beating us? It took them longer to get there, but they did. Is
I don't know
is
that.
even
I don't know that it's
possible?
possible now.
How come?
Because I don't know that we would let that happen. Yeah, like we have a dynamic effect on the Earth where like even anything I think in a microevolutionary kind of way, and Kevin can kind of educate me more on this, is like I don't think anything's happening the way it's supposed to happen anymore because of our effect on the environment. And I'm not saying that in a good or bad way. I'm just saying like we are everywhere. We've populated the entire planet. There's humanity, like Homo sapien is everywhere. It's not like there's a kind of human here and a kind of human there. It's like we are everywhere, and there's no other species that's like that. So we've totally dominated, and that's kind of why I want to know if we're alone. Or I know we're not alone. I want proof that we're not alone because I want to see what happens. That's like I have a very morbid fascination with what happens when we figure that out. It's going to be a fucking reckoning for this race, and for this planet when we realize that we are a dick. Like we are, like when we find a radio signal or find a Dyson sphere,
Right.
Or especially if we find a Dyson sphere,
We find a
or
Dyson
figure out,
sphere, it's game over. That basically, that is so revolutionary in what it stands for and what it means that we would just be, I don't know, it would be fucking chaos for a while.
Yeah, I mean, if we,
But it'd be chaos in a good way.
That would be a great way.
Not
It would
necessarily.
be a cleansing chaos potentially, but it would be, I mean, you're talking about, actually, I don't know, because like my first thing that I kind of think of is like if aliens came to visit, then it would put sort of a final pin in the idea of God, right? And what that meant for us as far as organized religion
I
was
agree.
concerned, right?
Yeah.
And so like but then they can always just explain it away. That's the beauty of
No,
like
they can't.
the
It's such
religion. It's like,
bullshit.
oh, God made them too, and here's a new book that we just found,
it's
and
so-
yada
that's
yada
such
yada.
nonsense.
They're not
It's
going to
like-
find a new book.
It's such a book in like the 40s.
The aliens brought a new
Mormonism.
book.
Did they? When did Mormonism come?
it was in the
That's a
19th
whole new
century, and that's a
religion.
whole different religion. But
That was what I'm saying. Though is like there's a
like,
possibility that someone's like,
that
oh,
was the gospel.
they
of
found it in
ET.
Missouri.
of course they did.
But
M-I-Z
ZOU.
but to
K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E.
Real clever.
But to me, it's just a matter of like it's not only because I know we're not alone. It's just not possible. So what I want is to just see what happens here. when we find out. I don't care. Like, we're going to find, in our lifetime, we are absolutely going to find microbes or something that prove that life exists somewhere else. That's not what I'm curious about. It's obvious that life exists somewhere else.
That's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah, what I'm
when
talking
you
about
say
is
life exists somewhere else and someone's like, well, it's possibly fucking
it's probably
a
on
single-cell
Mars and on
organism.
Titan and
Fuck you.
Cladius
I want to talk to
or
it.
Enceladus, rather.
I want it to give us new technology to make popsicles
Then what do you want to do?
faster.
But if we
Then I
find...
wanna-
How quickly do you want to fuck it?
Well, I mean, it depends on how, like, what the curves, what if it's my type or not.
Yeah, okay.
You see what I'm saying? If it's motivated, driven,
What do talk to it for hours?
What it will look like, first of all, if a species can contact us and come here, then we are in big trouble. Like, and whether or not they're violent or not,
Sure.
is another story entirely. We will live under their yoke forever because they came here.
Yeah.
Like, we have
They're
no
so
idea how that's even
technologically
fucking
advanced.
possible.
They're here, yeah.
And so if that happens, if that's the way we're contacted, it's fucking over.
Unless, like, the Vulcans, man.
For us. And I'm not saying about, I'm not saying that they're necessarily going to be violent or whatever. There's all these shows that explore, like, kind of benevolent but super kind of sadistic
Alienation.
alien kind of shit going on where they're like, yeah, like they come and, but
Assimilate.
It would only be
but not
if
only
they-
that, but they come and they're just like, we're just here. And we're like, great, you came in massive starships from another system. We have no idea how you did that. But yeah, let's live in peace. Like,
But
we're
maybe they don't
equals.
have something we have, like Slurpees.
They
You
might
know?
not have Slurpees. That's
Well,
true.
so what do you mean it's fucking over?
Humanity will erupt in complete fear and chaos if we are contacted the way it happens in Independence Day or something like that. It'll be over.
Well, Independence Day is a friendly conflict. Say hello. They're there to blow
It is
up.
a hello at first.
just like Alf.
Literally, they blow up that thing in first 2 seconds.
No, they don't.
They roll in and we're like, oh, hey. Poof, 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 and they shoot the helicopter out of the sky.
It takes longer than 2 seconds. But no, and so I think the way we will find it though, and it's going to be in a more cryptic and then more in even more scary way in a way, is that we're going to hear a radio signal or we're going to see some sort of visual evidence because our telescopes are getting more powerful. We're seeing exoplanets all over the place that we hadn't even seen 10 years ago. So, and now there's evidence of a Dyson sphere somewhere and all this kind of stuff. And
Supposedly.
yeah, supposedly.
Yeah.
And
They're
so
still trying to
it's
figure
like
out
when
what that is.
when someone comes out and says like, we've been working on this for a while and look like what we found or look what we can hear or, some sort of, not to make it about video games because it shouldn't be, but like with Mass Effect with the Prothean ruins and stuff on Mars when they were like, holy shit, like we found something that's like total proof.
Would be a trip.
And that I think is even scarier because then just being directly contacted because then it's like, what do we do? Do they know we're here? Do we try to contact them? Do we let them know we're here? Like, do they already know? Are they already here somewhere? So I don't know. I want to just see what happens. Like that to me, like we're not too far away from it. I think that it's got to happen within the next 100 years. Like that will.
You think so?
If life is
But
as
I mean, that's
prevalent
the-
as Sagan and others think it is because the universe is so vast and there's life within 100 light years of us, and I don't think, and I'm sure there is.
But I mean,
then I
even
don't
if-
think that's that far fetched.
Even if a group like a civilization evolved to the point where they can make a Dyson sphere, doesn't necessarily mean that they've mastered like
Interstellar
travel.
No.
Right. So it's
it just means
conceivable
that it's
they're-
many hundreds of times more sophisticated than us. Though.
yes.
They need to make like a space bridge.
And you have to remember that for them to build that Dyson sphere, they
Except
need to figure out how to get close to the star without there's a
cooking
bunch of
themselves.
technology. They know how to travel at that point. You would have to
That's
assume.
true. That's true. Or they live exorbitantly long lifespans, which would be insane. There's all sorts of things they could do, but doesn't necessarily mean. I mean, my thing is they always say if they come here, we'd be fine unless we had a resource they needed, in which case they would just obliterate us. But
That's what science is all about until science they didn't realize that they had the thing that they didn't want. Independence Day was about the resources.
science
Yeah.
was
Science
made
is like, oh, this
no
planet
sense.
looks cool. I hope it isn't made up of like the majority of the planet is something that'll kill us. Land.
Like cool.
Invade.
That seems solid. Oh God, it's water.
No!
Did you guys ever see either of the Day the Earth Stood Still films? The classic black
Yes.
and white film, or the not so classic Keanu Reeves version?
I didn't see. I saw the black and white one back in the day.
It's a cool concept for it.
Yeah.
The idea is that they come to figure out if the human race is destroying the planet because Earth is a special, like has life, and to them all life is equal. And if the human beings are destroying it, then they just need to take us out of the equation. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I don't know. I'm super hung up on that. Like we're so worried about small things and small problems. Like I wish as a people we were sophisticated enough and had enough drive to be like, we're going to start sending out generation ships now. We're going to start like sending out thousands of probes and like let's figure this out. You know,
Well, see, that's the whole thing
because
about what I'm saying.
To
It
do it
won't
for our
be-
children. It takes so long.
I'm
man.
with you, and that's what what's exciting about today in that news story. But the thing about it is, I think, and maybe it's just the normal light versus dark of you and me. I think is that if we saw and we were like, that's a Dyson sphere, there's alien life out there. I don't think it would be as much pandemonium on here as actually be a unification in the way of like the way America came together after 9/11, the way, you know what I mean? Like when something globally bad happens and we're able to put our stupid shit aside for a second and focus. You know what I mean? When it suddenly does become not us versus them, but we are us, and that's something else. Like we need to have these conversations finally where it matters and do these things where, we do need to think about future
We do have
generations.
to, but I'm interested to see what humanity, I think it was Sagan that talked about us contacting a sophisticated alien race is like when Columbus ran into the Arawak Indians.
Yeah.
It's like no chance.
Yeah.
For you.
We have such a
So you better hope that like these people are benevolent, or these aliens or these creatures are benevolent, because they can just fucking crush you.
Yeah.
And it would actually be even more extreme than that. It would be like us now running into the Arawak Indians.
Yeah.
Now we're the Indians, and they have things we don't even because to be able to travel across space like that, if assuming they would come here, you'd have to be able to manipulate space time or go at the speed of light, which is we don't even know how that's possible.
Right.
So. Like we don't like our physics,
space full drive.
the physics as we understand doesn't even allow faster than light travel.
Right.
That's why we have to figure out clever ways to manipulate time. That's like why the time travel, we don't time travel, we go really fast and then come back and then time is moved faster. So
Right.
like, I don't know. So for a species that's like, we just know how to do this. It's like,
But see, I think it's fascinating because now that we've developed all this technology, we don't like the idea of us exploring the universe is becoming less and less probable for me as humans actually going out into interstellar travel. Because why would we? Why not just put machines out there like we've done on Mars? Why not put it?
that's what they propose.
But that's what I'm saying is like I don't know if we'll ever know. Like, will human beings ever reach another solar system? Will we ever do that? Or will by the time we get to the place where we can actually have a connection with something out there, like where we start, I think they drop they want to drop like computers on different planets, right, and have like relay points and all this stuff. Will we even be human so much anymore in this current form by the time that happens? Like 200, 300, 400, 500 years from now, what the hell is the human race even going to do? Obviously,
We'll be dead.
maybe, and it's just machines. Like it's crazy to think.
Yeah, it's a little Battlestar Galactica-ish in that sense.
Well,
but also to me, that's the other scary part of that's the other side of the coin, which is the scary part of it, which is like a real practical part, which is that we might never be able to really do it. Like we can definitely go to other systems. Like I have no question that if we gave it enough time, like 2025, we were willing to send ships that would take entire lifetimes to get to places, we can do it. With the technology we have now, we can absolutely do it. That's why I want them to start sending out generation ships where like
With generation ship, you mean like there's families living on board? And
like the people that like left are the
kids.
grandparents of the people that land on the planet.
Right.
Like they don't even live to see the entire voyage. Like it takes a level of selflessness to do it. But we can get to Alpha Centauri in probably 30, 40, 50 years with using like some of this technology they're talking about in ships or whatever. It's just a matter of like what's scary and sad is that if the civilization's 1,000 light years away and we know they're there and the communication at the speed of light takes 1,000 years, like it's so helpless. It's like that sucks. Like they're there, we know they're there,
Right.
and like we can't. And maybe they feel the same way about us. Like we know they're there, we can't. They might actually not even know we're there because we've not even been transmitting anything for long enough for them to even see it. That's how fucking vast space is. If you're more than 80 light years away from Earth and you're trying to read radio signals, you're not even going to read our radio signals yet. That's the crazy and sad part of it is like maybe we'll just never have a solution and we'll just know they're there. That's like the almost helpless like fucking Twilight Zone-esque kind of Rod Serling shit where it's like there they are, but
You assume though if you can master fast and light travel, though, the communication comes with that, right?
yeah, but
wouldn't necessarily
even in grounded science fiction, like it's all manipulating like weird. Like in Mass Effect, it's about reducing things to zero mass
Right.
so that they can travel faster than light and using relays to bounce things around and stuff like that because they're just mass can't travel that fast.
Right.
So
Because as mass travels faster, it gets heavier, right?
I think so. And then
Yeah.
I think like it's just physically not possible for mass to travel at the speed of a photon because photon doesn't have a mass.
Right.
So
crazy
I don't know.
shit.
It's interesting. So that's the question I want is like not even all of this existential shit. It's just like I just want definitive proof of a intelligent race that's not here. And I do think that it will be the beginning of the end of this planet.
I think if they haven't already, right? I mean, like the idea of like it really is when you talk about how technology with telescopes has gotten like exponentially better over the years. Pointing at someone, how long is it going to take for someone to point something into a sector of space we haven't seen before and be like, that's metal, that's not a planetoid or a meteorite, that's a ship of some sort or something that's been put out into space and it's not one of ours. It's going to happen.
I hope
hasn't
so.
happened already.
I hope so. Yeah, that's the other interesting thing is like, has anyone figured it out? And they just don't. There's like the government's like, there's no reason for us to say anything, like, because
The mass panic.
we don't know what this even is, but we know it's not ours, and we know it's intelligent. And we
something,
know.
right?
But yeah, you're right. Like that's the cool thing about astronomy is it's so democratized that like discoveries are made by random people all the time.
Well, yeah, you can't stop people from looking up into the sky.
They don't have powerful enough equipment to see like deep,
Right.
But they can see. You know, like
They're not using that
fucking
fucking
Pluto
contact
was
shit.
discovered by some dude that was like dicking
big
around at a
Disney
planetarium. You know, like. He
Oh,
wasn't.
really?
Yeah, he wasn't even, or at a telescope. He wasn't even like a real astronomer. He
And they
became
were
an
like-
astronomer after he discovered Pluto.
They're like, you get to name this planet, and he's like, I really like that dog. That
Goofy.
Mickey's dog.
He was using like a blink
Pluto.
spectrometer to like go between pictures and just finding things that were moving because he was bored. Then he found this dot that kept moving across the sky, and that was how he found it. He wasn't even an astronomer. So that's like what's so
crazy.
cool. It's always been like even the gentleman astronomer is like Galileo and Copernicus. Like they were trained scientists, but they were they were making their own tools as they went, their own optical tools. Galileo was the one who fucking figured out how to use telescopes to begin with. So
That's crazy.
that's how we found the moons of Jupiter.
I want to know about aliens. I want to know about JFK. I want to know what happened to this Malaysia airliner. I want to know about 9/11. I would have said aliens, but then Colin stole it. So then all those other ones he had in there too. But those are the kind of stuff I feel like we'll never know. When it's nobody's gonna. Where the fuck is the Pentagon video? Why is it just a bunch of fucking frames? Show me something. You got 1 million cameras. I don't believe you. That's what I want to know, Tim.
Those are good questions, Greg.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen. What, do you have something?
Yeah, the avocados.
Fuck off. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Game Over Greggy Show. If you didn't know, each and every week, the Game Over Greggy Show comes to you. Where did I get off track with it?
I don't know.
right
It's
there.
been a long show. Really?
Just there, yeah.
Where it comes to you, and I'm like,
Each and every
if
week,
you didn't
4,
know, but
sometimes
that's
5
what I-
best friends gather on this table to bring you all the news you need to know.
Ropers. Go to
and Greg.
patreon.com/kindafunny if you want the episodes early or exclusive perks. But if you don't have any bucks to toss our way, head over to kindafunny.com. That's youtube.com/kindafunny, where you get the show broken up topic by topic, day by day, until we post one big MP3 and one big video for your perusal the next Friday. Gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.